From the network that brought you the Dro Bro Show and Rimoe's interviews, brings you the brand new Hot Tag with Grimex and Mr. Vicious. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? This is Mr. Vicious, Rimoe Vinci, and we are back with another episode of the Hot Tag. And as usual, homeboy, my brother, my main man with me, my tag team partner, Grimex. Say what's up, my brother.
Hey, what up, everybody? Just chilling out here flying my helicopter. Tell me when I'm telling lies. I had to throw that in there.
Right,
You
Mayday,
know.
Mayday.
No, but do you know what that is? That's CM Punk's thing. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
I like it. I like it. Well, we are back, people, and it's been a minute. It's been a long minute since we did a hot tag. In fact, I think the last one was, sometime in September last year, maybe even before that. So it's been a crazy year so far in wrestling. There's been all kinds of cool stuff happening. We're on Netflix now on Raw. We got John Cena making his retirement year, and he turned heel on everybody.
Yeah.
We got Penta and Phoenix in the WWE now. We got all kinds of stuff happening. So we're going to go ahead and get right on into our predictions for Mania, because Mania is this weekend on Easter weekend. So that's pretty dope. So we're going to go ahead and get right on into all that. Unless you got something else you want to say first, Graham, you got anything else?
No, just pretty excited for the show. I mean, last time we were talking, the big hype was all about the freaking Wyatt Six, and they haven't been around for a minute, but Bo got hurt. He got his shoulder torn or his rotor cuff or something. So
Okay.
he was out, they said, for like 6 months. So that's why Alexa Bliss got pulled from TV, even though she was making a comeback because they wanted to tie her in with the Wyatt Six. But due to the feud with the Final Testament in one of those matches, Bo Dallas got hurt. But the rumor is that he may be returning, but not as Uncle Howdy, as the Fiend.
Oh, snap. That'll be different. That'll be crazy. I know I haven't been on social media a whole lot at all lately, but I did hear that Joe Gacy posted some kind of cryptic tweet the other day, and it's got people wondering if the Wyatt Sixers sometime soon to be coming back. So I guess we'll find out. But as far as Mania goes, I got my list for night one right here. Let's get our predictions and all of that stuff going real quick. It's going to be a short show for y'all because we're just going to do our predictions and then be out. Because then we're going to come back next week and do the whole fallout of the whole thing and talk about the Raw after Mania, because you always know there's some cool stuff there, and everything else that goes on. So first off, now, obviously, I don't know what the match order is going to be. I don't know if they have it released yet. I haven't looked it up or anything like that. But I know these are the confirmed matches for night one. So right off the bat, we got the World Heavyweight Championship match: Jey Uso versus Gunther. What are you thinking on that one?
So, for those that haven't seen the storyline and shit, Jay's already, what is he, 3-0? 0-3, I mean.
Against Gunther?
Yeah. So, hold on, something's going on with my phone. Okay, there we go.
Technical difficulties. Here we go. We can
No, it
never
was asking me some
normal
shit
show.
about Skype Teams. So, anyways, uh, Jey Uso, he's lost 3 times to Gunther. This is going to be a big thing for him, and there's a lot of fallout from him and Charlotte winning the Royal Rumble. A lot of people talking trash, saying that they don't think these are the two. It kind of bummed him out. He's been doing a bunch of stuff on TV, hyping himself up, and then he had his toe injury, which he said it even hurt him to walk. So that's why he hasn't been wrestling a lot, because they've been just trying to get him healed up for Mania.
Yeah.
Jimmy got beat by freaking Gunther trying to defend his brother and bring his freaking to bring his character back, to bring him back up and bring him his self-esteem back up. Well, Gunther leaves him a bloody mess with freaking Jay zip tied to the freaking rope, and so that leads to this. And he's saying that he's going to bring out the dark side of him. So my prediction is that Jay's going to win, but on the condition that he becomes heel. That this is the point where Jay's going to turn heel. And I think that because Roman and all the stuff going on with him, I think in order for the bloodline to come together and be a whole faction, a whole family faction, it's going to take a
Yeah.
heel bloodline.
Wow. That's a pretty thick prediction there, my brother. I like it. Um, I was one of the ones that was salty on this whole Jey Uso winning the Rumble thing. I like Jey Uso, but I don't like him like that. I don't think he's actually main event caliber, like how his moniker is. You know what I mean? So, it is what it is for me. I'm I'm actually gonna go Gunther just because I feel like Gunther is on a historic rise. He was killing it with the IC. He's killing it right now with the World Heavyweight Championship, and I feel like he doesn't necessarily need to keep it, but I think he should keep it because I just don't feel like Jay's the guy. If they are gonna give Jay a heavyweight title, this is the one to give him because he's definitely not WWE champion material. At least I don't think so. So I'm gonna go with Gunther just because, but anything can happen. So our next one that I have on our list here is for the World Tag Team Championship, the War Raiders versus the New Day. The heel
And the
New
New Day, they gotta fucking win that shit, dude. I'm so sick and tired of the freaking Viking War Raiders. I'm sorry, but not that they're bad wrestlers. They're decent, and I just think that, like what you just said about Jay, this is how
Yeah,
I feel about this tag team champions. They're not the tag team champions at all.
we're losing you, Grim. We're losing you a little bit, my brother. Try it again.
I was just saying they're just not the face to carry the title for
Yeah,
WWE's Raw. You know what I mean? That's like
and
the
I
main point.
and I think that the New Day with this heel turn, I feel like it's absolutely necessary for them to get some belts around them just to make it that much better. You know what I mean? So I haven't really been watching. This is all just stuff that I'm hearing about. So I think it's gonna be dope. But I think the New Day needs to take it. I hear these War Raiders are doing pretty good and stuff, but just not my cup of tea. You feel me? So we'll
I
see
don't
what.
know. So I I like the New Day. I didn't like the heel turn at first, but I do like them. I like seeing Kofi doing some of the heel stuff. I mean, Xavier's already been doing it prior to the full on heel turn, right? Because you thought that it was gonna. We talked about it. I think that we thought it was gonna be another Sean and Marty Jannetty scenario, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And instead, it went full heel turn, and they both turned heel, and you're just kind of shocked. But as far as the Viking War Raiders, and I don't know if we talked about this the last time, but ever since and I know accidents happen, but ever since JD McDonough got freaking jacked up in that match,
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that when he broke his ribs and
I
collapsed
didn't see it, but I heard all about
yeah.
it.
I got rubbed the wrong way by them. You know what I mean?
You got what?
Rubbed the wrong way by them.
I see. I get it. Seems like everybody the New Day goes against ends up hurting somebody in an unintentional way. Anyways, so I guess we're both going New Day on that one, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move it right along. This is one with the fair amount of buildup and fanfare. We got Jade Cargill and Naomi. Now, Naomi's been doing some good work from what I hear lately, but I feel like Jade needs a big deal to happen for her right now. I think she was out for a while. I know she came back for, I think it was the Rumble or maybe it was Elimination Chamber she came back. And I don't know. I think Jade, ever since she came into WWE, has needed a really big splash to make, and she did for a little while with the team that she had with Bianca. But as far as her own single splash, I think this is the kickoff for that. So I'm going with Jade. What are you thinking?
I'm gonna go with Naomi because I get what you're saying, but I think for this feud, which is gonna pretty much be a predominantly long feud, at least 6 months, right?
Yeah,
If you just have Jade come in and smash Naomi right now, then there's no reason for a feud because she gets a retribution. Now, every time they've had interactions, Jade has smashed her. So that leads me to believe because of Naomi's last promo on last week's SmackDown, and her saying Jade don't know her and hasn't seen the real her and all this stuff, is that I think Naomi's gonna win. It's gonna be a huge upset, and that's gonna freaking with fire. You know what I mean? And lead to a longer and more um, entertaining feud.
I could see that, and it makes a lot of sense. You're making a lot of sense right there, my brother. So we'll see what happens. I'm still gonna go Jade though. I think she's gonna smash Naomi. I mean, just from the on paper. You know, Naomi's obviously been around longer. She's got more tenure. She knows what she's doing. She's not green, you know, but Jade's a beast, bro. So I anticipate Jade whooping on
But
her. And if Naomi does win, it's gonna be like a DQ or some bullshit finish. You know what I mean? So
this ties into another thing that's in a later prediction, so I'll leave that open too. And I had another one of those too with one of the others, but I was going to leave that open too. So
all right. Well, next up on our list here, we got Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. And I
Chad
think,
Gable.
yep, I think it's gonna be almost like a mask versus mask kind of thing because I think once Ray whoops on him, which he's going to, I hope he unmasks him, and then we have the whole Chad Gable reveal and the whole thing like that. But that's kind of what I'm thinking. So I'm gonna go Ray. But what are you thinking?
So what's his name? Grande Americano,
Yeah,
aka the artist formerly known as Chad Gable. But no, I think Chad's gonna win the the last few weeks on I think he's gonna win. I heard a rumor
making all kinds of crazy noise over there, my brother. We can't hear you. All that.
the win. Yeah.
All right, try it now.
So, anyways, that yoke's been beating up on Ray and Dragon Lee for a few weeks already. You know,
Yeah.
this isn't new. And he's been beating them every week because he puts this fucking rock in his mask and he jumps off and does a headbutt off the top rope and
Mm-hmm.
shit. So that guy's been beating. Well, I heard a rumor this is going to lead up to Dragon Lee getting his mask. So I think they're
You,
going to keep the.
all right, now I can hear you, but for like you keep kind of going in and out, my brother, where it gets all weird and then you sound perfect, and then it's all weird and then you sound perfect.
Either way, I think they're going to freaking have um, Chad Gable win.
What were you saying about Dragon Lee though? It's gonna lead into something with him. Now you got all weird again. I still didn't hear it.
Rumor is they're going to unmask him.
Oh, really? Oh, well, that'll be interesting. I guess we'll find out, right? So you're going with Gable and
Yeah.
Minicano?
Yeah. So I don't think they're going to unmask Gable until after a luchador gets unmasked.
Okay, that'll be interesting. Wow. Okay. So our next one that we got is for the U.S. Championship. We got L.A. Knight, yeah, against Jacob Fatu.
Jacob's taking that shit.
I mean, I feel like LA Knight has had quite the run. Finally, he needed some gold in the WWE. I feel like he needs to move up to like the heavyweight title. You know what I mean? I feel like LA Knight should be more of a contender for that anyway. I think it's cool that he's had the U.S. Excuse me, the U.S. title for a while. But Jacob, bro, is just a beast, and he's been a beast forever. And I think he's due to get something himself. So I guess we'll find out. But you're going Jacob, and I'm going Jacob. So we'll see what happens
Well, and again, this all leads into that heel turn I'm talking about.
with the Uzis.
Yep.
Yeah, I like it.
I mean, it only makes sense because they're going heel right now.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a great idea, and I feel like that's a dope concept. So I guess that one's we're in agreement with that one. For the WWE Women's Championship, we got Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair, the Queen. How you feeling about that one?
So have you heard all the drama going on with it?
I
It went
sure
off
have.
script, and right now,
A
so
lot
I
of
don't.
low
Yeah, a lot. And when she called out her marriages, when Tiffany called out Charlotte's
Yeah,
marriages, I was like, oh shit. WWE's had to go and had them edit that stuff out of like YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, things like that, or X.
yeah.
Um, but it's still found on Netflix Raw. The thing is, though, I honestly think that Tiffany needs this win. They might give it to Charlotte because of her whole documentary and how she opened up, and then Tiff fucking used that against her to bash her that night. But rumor has it you're not going to see him on SmackDown because after what happened went off script, which is real life. This wasn't fake. WWE and they're trying to listen to the fans. Even the fans are like, just let them fight in the ring and let that speak for itself. Because at this point, if you put them in the ring together before the event with this real stuff going on, you could potentially lose one of your main event matches by having a real fight and having something really erupt. So it's better just to let the show go on and wait till Mania to let these two face each other. But I think Tiff needs this win, honestly, as the young buck.
I think so too. And I think with this whole exchange that they had, I honestly feel like Tiff came out looking better anyway. I mean,
Yeah.
Charlotte was there looking all dumbfounded and she didn't even know what to say for half of the stuff, even before Tiff started doing low blows. Like the crowd, like it was like Charlotte didn't know how to react to the crowd. It definitely wasn't like she'd been in the damn business for as long as she has. You know what I mean? So I was kind of feeling like, eh. And then even when she won the Rumble, bro, I was like, for real, Charlotte again? Like, how many freaking times do we have to have this chick doing it? She could have been on some kind of chase storyline, and I feel like it would have had the crowd behind her much better. But because they just seem to just be handing her stuff all the time, it just sours me on it every time, every single
Yeah.
time.
Well, to be
So
honest, and the rumors from the fans, and so you're kind of saying it without watching it, so it's funny. Rumors from the fans are is that they said that this promo basically showed you what people have known for over a decade, and that Charlotte Flair can't cut promos. She's freaking B list at best as far as on the mic, and the
yeah.
only reason she got where she was because she rode the coattails of her father.
I
I
mean,
mean,
there's no denying her athleticism and that she's badass in the ring. But people are always saying that she's the greatest of all time already and stuff. And I'm like,
fuck
man, like
no,
it's
hell
really
no.
hard. It's really hard for me to give her that. Like she's dope in the ring, and don't get me wrong, I think she's definitely top five women wrestlers in the ring historically. But I don't give her anything else beyond that. Especially when it comes to promos. I've never really heard her do a promo that I was just like, hell yeah. So.
I'd
Um,
give her top 10. I definitely wouldn't put her in the top 5, dude. Because right now, the next women's championship, 3 of those women are in the top 5. All 3 of them, right? So right there already, and I don't think Charlotte's even holds a candle to the other 3.
Woo, man, that's a bold statement right there. But I guess only time will tell with that one as well. So moving on from that one, we both took Tiff on that one. So the main event, CM Punk's first and probably only WrestleMania main event that he'll ever have, and it sucks because to me, if you say WrestleMania main event, that's the last match of the actual show. So I think when they do this whole 2 night nonsense, don't get
Yeah.
me wrong. It's cool that it's 2 nights, I guess. I'd much rather have it be one night, one big extravaganza, but I get the roster's huge and they got to do what they got to do. But Punk main eventing night one still doesn't feel like it's the main event of WrestleMania to me, even though that's what they're calling it. But we got Punk, Roman Reigns, and Seth Rollins. And I don't know if it's Seth freaking Rollins anymore or not, because I heard they took the freaking out. So I don't know. We'll see. But I'm actually gonna go with Punk here because I feel like they have to give it to him. I feel like he has to have some kind of something to go over on the other two, especially since he got the wise man in his corner with this whole thing. I feel like Paul's gonna pull some kind of funkiness, and it's gonna fuel this potential heel turn that you're talking about, because that might be what puts Roman over the edge. Um, and it might, solidify Heyman being with Punk now, moving forward.
So have you seen
Um,
Raw?
I haven't watched any Raw since it's been on Netflix, or even before that, I hadn't seen any Raw. So,
Okay, so a lot of stuff's happened. Okay. So Paul Heyman owes Seth Rollins a favor. And there
yeah,
was this whole freaking back and forth on Raw just this last week how he was telling Roman, you know, he says that that's his word, but it's his choice. He said because he's a slimy scumbag. We all know Paul Heyman, and he's like, so the fact is, he don't have to be in CM Punk's corner. He's choosing to be. So then Roman shoves him down, about to beat him up after him and Seth get into it, and he throws Seth out. And CM Punk's music comes on. CM Punk comes out. Roman spears Punk, and then Seth does the freaking curb stomp to both of them and stands over Paul Heyman. Um, uh, so, anyways, what I think is, and this is one of the things I was holding back on, is that because there was also another rumor, and people are speculating right now because Triple H was recently on what, Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel, something like that, but he was talking about how him and The Rock have been friends since 1996 and how it's crazy, and that even to this day here in 2025 they're still working together to bring you the best WWE that they can. He said that's including the 10th and 11th WrestleMania appearances of Roman Reigns. The reason why that's significant is because everyone's like, wait a minute, isn't the fucking 10th appearance this triple threat match? So is
Mm.
he throwing out a fucking Easter egg right there? So the speculation is Roman, because Roman, it's been 1 year now. He has not got his rematch. And every champion gets a rematch after you lose. It's been 1 year. He still hasn't had a rematch. And The Rock could potentially still be in his corner. You haven't seen any of the shit with The Rock really leading up to this bloodline, anything, right? It's just been Rock and Cena. So, anyways, Rock could pull some strings potentially and have Roman end up in that Cena Cody Rhodes triple threat as a triple threat match for the title, which could be something. So, what I think is going to happen in this match is I think Paul Heyman's going to screw CM Punk over or Seth Rollins, okay, because it's going to bring more storyline.
Wow.
This now gets to take Roman out of the equation with Punk, and Roman gets freed up to go into this triple threat match. But it sparks the feud between Seth and Punk, and I think freaking Paul Heyman's going to go with Rollins.
I was just gonna say, like there's a lot of focus on Punk and Reigns, and Rollins is kind of the odd man out here, and I feel like that's why he's probably gonna pull away with it because nobody's looking at him. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's kind of what I was thinking too. But I feel like they gotta give it to Punk. So my heart tells me I hope it's Punk, but my brain tells me it's probably gonna be
But
Rollins.
here's the thing, dude, and this is a well-known fact. When CM Punk came back, that was one part of his freaking WWE contract, was he was going to get a WrestleMania main event. But the thing is that with that rumor is that although he gets a WrestleMania main event, it doesn't mean he has to win, and it doesn't mean he has to have a title defense or a title opportunity.
Yeah,
So it just meant he gets his WrestleMania main event. So the reality is, and he's like you said, he's there to put guys over. And with the feud with him and Rollins, and he won the freaking Netflix Raw debut, and that was a badass match, and that should have squashed their beef. But since they brought it up because these are two of the best in the biz, if you want to draw it out a little longer, I think this is the opportunity to allow CM Punk to give Seth Rollins that push. Because Punk, like he stated, he said when they asked him about John Cena's retirement tour, he said, who says I'm not doing the same thing? I'm just not ballsy enough to announce it out to the world.
yeah, that's a good point. Well, I
You
guess
know what
we'll
I mean?
that one too. So that's our wrap up for night one. You going with Rollins?
Yeah.
All right, so we're both taking Rollins on that one. I'm writing down our stuff. That way, when we come back next week, we can
And
see.
obviously, I'm a Punk fan. That's my guy, but I'm just
Yeah,
going with what I
but
feel the story direction is going.
I feel you. I feel you. So check it out. We got for night two, we got the triple threat match for the WWE Women's World Championship. Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky versus Bianca Belair. Um, Io's the champ, right?
Yep.
So
She's fucking dope.
I'm feeling like it's got to be Rhea, to be honest with you. I feel like Rhea's got to win. I'm cool with all of them, but I don't feel like Io or Bianca are the girls right now. I don't think that they're the ones. I know that Rhea had some kind of injury or something recently, so I don't know if that's gonna come into play at all with any of this. But I feel like Rhea's on the top of her game. She has been for a minute. I feel like she's the marquee player there, so that's who I'm taking.
So, of the three, Io is my favorite. I freaking think she's a dope ass wrestler. I love her song, love her entrance, and I love that they gave her the title with the upset win over Rhea right before this, and allowing her to continue to be this beast on television, really. So that like puts her where she's in contendership with these two because they're two of the bigger women in WWE. And I mean, when I say bigger, I mean like they're stacked. You know what I mean? They're not little girls. So that being said, is that um, for Io to be this competitor, they had to show her as this like champion status, even though she's been a champion before. But I think they've been doing a good job with that, and it helps promote the women in the business and bring it back to the light where it's not just predominantly male oriented wrestlers, right?
Yeah,
And matches. So, anyways, this is the second part that I was holding back on that I said I had another thing. I think Bianca's going to win this. And the reason why I think Bianca's going to win this is it's only going to feed the storyline between Jade and Naomi. And the reason why I think Bianca's going to win, because going back to what you and I have said a long time ago when we started this podcast, was that there's going to be an inevitable, and this is a fan favorite feud to happen, Jade Cargill and freaking Bianca Belair. And what
mm,
better way to have it happen than to have Bianca become champion, than them have their whole freaking split up between the three? Because right now her and Jade are cool, but something's going to happen, right? Probably here at WrestleMania night one where they're going to have a falling out or that's going to start the fracture, right?
that's
So
a
I
good
think at
point.
that point, I think this would be what I would do. Like I said, I would have Naomi smash Jay, and then that would spark that storyline, and then have Bianca win at this match. That way, that when these three come together, it would be probably at the next pay per view, build up the storyline, and then have it a triple threat title match.
No doubt, no doubt. I like that. That's a good idea. Good booking right there, my brother. Good booking. So I got you down for Bianca. So that's gonna be
Yeah.
nice. We got a fatal four way for the IC title. Braun Breaker versus Penta versus Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. And man, this one I feel like is going to be one of them show stealing matches, if you ask me. Um, I've been a big Penta fan since Lucha Underground when I first seen him in I think it was the feud he had with Vampiro. I think is when I first really noticed him, and I was like, damn, even the music he had back then was badass. So again, I haven't really seen any of this stuff so far this year. I haven't seen any of the Penta matches or none of it. I just know he's there, and I know Phoenix is there too, so that's badass too. But as much as I want him to take it, just because I don't feel like it's gonna be him, I feel like he might even end up taking the fall. To be honest with you, and that kind of makes me sad. I hope he doesn't. But I do feel like Braun is going to end up dropping the belt, and I feel like Dominic's going to be the one that picks it up. So
Funny thing you say that because I want to say two people, dude. And the two people I want to say because rumors are WWE wants to give Penta the push. But dude, I don't know if he's ready as much as I like him because on TV, he was sick in AEW and Lucha Underground. Okay? Those aren't top tier wrestlers. And I'm not saying that to talk crap, dude, but when you put him against top tier wrestlers, okay, we can all agree that WWE is the pinnacle of wrestling. Okay. And it
oh
has
yeah,
been for a very long time. And most wrestlers consider it so too. And I'm not saying this to bash wrestlers and other organizations, not trying to say that there's no other good wrestler out there if you're not in WWE. I'm just saying they're at another level because at that level, the way that they train, the way that they have to do their mic skills, all of these things, right? To be there in WWE, it's at a whole nother level. When Penta came in and for his first three matches, dude, they were kind of botched, right? A lot of people called him out. Even his Royal Rumble appearance where both his feet touched, okay? Huge botches, okay? Um, I just don't think he's ready. I love Penta, but he's not ready for it yet. And he just needs a little bit more work. He's there. He just needs a little bit more work. I was going to say, though, Dominic, because you got Dominic and Finn, and how the hell is this going to play out? And they call him Dirty Dom for a reason, right? And what better way to pay homage to Eddie Guerrero than to backstab your homeboy in the match and get the upset and win the freaking Intercontinental title?
I think Dom's the one that could benefit the most off of the win. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm saying Dom. I think they're going to move Braun Breaker on to bigger and better things, but I think Dom, he's already the most hated man in wrestling, so might as well continue on with that. You know what I mean? They're going to turn him face soon enough because they love to hate him. You know what I'm saying?
Dom isn't the most hated anymore, I would say. Man, there's a lot up there, like Logan Paul and stuff, and the New Day, and all of them. They get booed so bad, like Dominic. But Dominic, they let him talk now. The other guys, they don't. So it goes back and with Charlotte too. I mean, with her whole promo with Tiff. You know, they didn't let her talk, and that's where she fucked up and didn't know what to do because I don't think she expected that reaction.
Yep. So are you going Dom too, or what?
I want to because that's where I think it's going, dude. Like I said, even though the rumors are that Penta's gonna get it, I know WWE wants to give it to him, but me, I don't think he's ready, and I think it should be Dom. Honestly,
So is that who you're taking?
yeah,
You're gonna go Dom too?
yeah, and it
All right.
would that would also feed the storyline because then you have this suspension in the freaking Judgment Day with the rumor of another thing I've been holding back. So I'll save that for later when we get to the other match, the
All right. All right. Well, we're both in
surprise
agreement.
match.
So the next match we got is AJ versus Logan Paul. And to
AJ,
me, you're going AJ?
yeah,
Honestly, I feel like they're gonna give it to Logan. I feel like AJ is gonna put a hurting on him, and it's gonna be a great match. Another show still in match, but I feel like Logan, they're so high on that dude. They don't ever let him really lose any of the stuff that he should be losing, you know. So I feel
he
like
has lost though.
he has
That's why he
lost,
lost
but
the title.
I don't see it happening though. I think he's gonna go over AJ just because they're trying to push him, and AJ's on the downswing. You know what I mean? So
So I get that, but here's the thing: I think AJ's gonna win because AJ just became a babyface again, which has been in a long time. They were talking about. I can't remember how many years they said it's been since AJ has been a babyface. He's been a heel for so many years,
yeah,
and so now that he came back as a babyface, brought back his old song, and he's on the down and out, and I think he's gonna go out a babyface. Um,
he
I
should. He's one of
agree.
the dopest ever.
I agree. He should give Logan Paul the push, but here's what I think. I think he's gonna win because Logan Paul's been getting the best of him, even though they haven't wrestled. Even though Logan Paul hasn't been on the shows wrestling, he just comes out and fucks with AJ during his matches and
Yeah.
fucks him over, and he's bested him every time. So, except for the first time. So, I think at that point, because he just did his freaking finisher, that sick ass finisher he does, the what does he call it? The impulse, or no, that's his podcast. What's he call it? The
Oh, I can't think of it right now. Put it in the comments and give us some corrections there. I know it's a cool one and it has to do with Paul. I know that. I just can't think of what it
yeah.
is. But
I was talking about it today, but how crazy because that used to be a move on the games that we used to play, and I always
mm,
thought, what a fake move, right? There's no
yeah,
way you could do that in real life where you flip the guy over and do that. But
yeah,
he does it in real life. He's already done it to Penta. He did it to Ray. He's now done it to AJ. So you're just like, oh, well, it can be done.
yeah.
So
The little guys though, apparently.
he did it to AJ on freaking Monday. So like WWE likes to do, whoever gets the last hit in is usually the guy who loses at the pay per view, right?
That- That's how
it
Vince
could.
always did it. So we'll see. We'll see if Hunter
But
keeps it.
here's why I think he'll do that. Because there's another thing that I have another idea on that I think that they're going out of the box on that's also featured in this night that I'm holding back on. But because of that storyline, I think he is going to go this route to make you think that he's going to do the Vince thing. So that way, when this storyline comes out, because it would just be even more watch, you'll see.
Oh, Grim, my brother. So who are you taking here? You taking Logan or you taking AJ?
AJ,
AJ. All right, all right. So Grimm's taking AJ. I got Logan on that one. So the Sin City Street Fight: Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. I am not a Damian Priest fan. You know, if you've watched the hot tag before, anytime we've had any kind of discussions about this dude, I'm not a big fan of his. I actually heard him on Chris Van Vliet's podcast a while back, and I like his story, and I like him as a person more so now. But as a wrestler, as a performer, I just can't stand his look. I don't think he's very good. I do not think that he's gonna win it, and I hope he doesn't win it because I'm a big Drew dude. I think Drew's the freaking man. He's a beast. I think Drew deserves it more so. He's been on a heck of a run for the last couple years, been doing some great work. So if you ask me, I'm going Drew.
so I don't want it, But I know that's the route they're gonna go because they've been building him up and trying to build him up as this big superstar on there, and Drew's the guy to help push it. So I think Damien's gonna win this. I don't want it, but here's what I think, dude. I think the same thing. I think Drew has put in the work. Drew is the man. He is so fucking sick, and all they do is freaking rub him through the dirt and use him to push
Oh,
people over.
yep.
And it sucks because this dude put in the work. He had the greatest feud of 2024 with CM Punk. They pushed CM Punk, and I'm a CM Punk guy, but I got to say, you know what? It takes two to make that storyline as good as it was. And Drew McIntyre was there, and that dude put on a good show. He's a great wrestler, phenomenal worker, and I just feel like they keep giving him the shaft. That dude deserves it.
I agree. I think he deserves it too. So I hope they don't give him the shaft. I hope he actually wins and he goes over and goes over strong, because he needs to go back into that main event picture again. That's where I think he belongs. He deserves another shot at the title in front of a real crowd. Because when he won that first Mania against Brock, it was COVID. He didn't, it was whack. It was dope for him to go over Brock, because nobody ever goes over Brock. But damn, he needed people. You know what I mean? And then they screwed him over in Scotland and all that kind of stuff at the Clash of the Castle. Like, man,
Yeah.
Drew deserves some real good stuff to start happening, because he's played ball quite a bit. So I'm rooting for Drew. So hopefully, but you're going Damien because that's where you think they're going. All right. So
Uh,
I got us down for that one. So next we got the women's tag team championship match. Bailey and Lyra Valkyria versus Liv and Raquel. And I don't really know a whole lot about any of this right now, but I am a fan of Raquel and Liv and Bailey. I don't really know too much of this Lyra Valkyria, to be
she's
honest
sick,
with you.
dude. I think
That's what
she's
I hear.
so dope.
I
She's
hear she's
so
pretty,
dope.
but
She's
I
probably
think,
the dopest of all four of them in the match, but I
wow,
just don't.
okay.
eh, Not feeling the Bailey and her story and the Raquel and Liv thing. I don't know, but I'll let you say your prediction. And
Well, I was gonna say I like the Raquel and Liv dynamic. It reminds me a lot of Sean and Diesel. I think that's kind of a cool combination that they got. And I've always been a Liv fan, since way before when she was still all Harley Quinned out and all that kind of stuff. I was digging on Liv back then. So and then Raquel, she's from Texas. She's a Chicana. She's
but
super.
damn, dude, now that you said that, I never saw that until you said it, and now that's all I see.
Oh yeah, straight up. That's
Dudes
Sean.
with attitude, the chicks with attitude. That's what
Straight
they
up.
should just start calling themselves.
you know and like I'm not necessarily a big Judgment Day person at all, but I really like what Dom's been doing. I really like what Liv and Raquel have been doing. I liked what Rhea was doing when she was in the Judgment Day, so
And
they're all
Damien and Carlito. I
Carlito's
just
always dope, but I'm not a Damien dude
I
whatsoever.
just don't not feeling it under Finn. It's not the Bullet Club.
Well, Finn's due for a face turn anyway. He's just not a good heel if you ask me, especially on the mic. I just ain't feeling him. And I think we're all waiting to see when this demon's ever gonna come back. Because he was super over with the demon and all that. Like it was where it's at. I think that's when Finn's at his best.
Well, I have
So
a prediction for that, but that's coming later. So
damn, Skins has it all. Grim's got it all worked out already. Little Grim McMahon over here has got it all down. So
dude,
I'm
I'd be better than Tony Khan.
I'm, I'm gonna take Liv and Raquel, the Judgment Girls. And who are you going with?
Oh,
Oh man, see that when he does the sigh of doom over there, it's like a very reluctant answer. He doesn't want to give me the answer he's about to give me. So watch.
yeah, because I think they're gonna give it to Bailey and Lyra, and I don't. I think it should stay on and Liv and Raquel too, because they're the better tag team at the moment. You can't really tell because these two they just faced off in a match because Lyra did something or something happened and Bailey got screwed out of her title shot. So Lyra gave her another one. These two have become friends. And the whole story is how Lyra was a fan of Bailey, got to meet Bailey at one point, and now she's wrestling with her and is her
Oh, that's
partner.
cool.
But Lyra is the women's intercontinental champion. So I don't think they need it because she's already a champion, but I think they're going to give them the championship to start building this friendship. Like, literally, dude, this shit's only been happening over the last 4 weeks. Okay. this whole bonding and shit and coming to this point. So
I like Bailey better as a face, but I feel like I haven't really seen any of this face Bailey right here. I have a feeling she might just turn on Lyra. You know, like that might just so happen in the match, and Bailey goes back to her punk ass Bailey. You know, which is
I
cool.
think
But
I
because
think
I
that
think
would be more likely after their tag champs.
I'm sorry.
I think that would be more likely after their tag champs.
Maybe. I think that she's better off going for the IC than these tag belts anyway. You know, I think Bailey would look good with that IC. I don't know. She had it already?
No, only Lyra, and Lyra's the only one. She won the tournament, and she's defended it already a few times, twice against Dakota Kai, twice against Bailey, and
Yeah.
someone else. So
I was listening to that same Chris Van Vliet podcast with with Natalia just the other day, and you know, damn, she should have been the first IC champ. It should have went to her heart. You know, that
DVB
would have
clips for those that don't know.
CVV clips. Damn. Anyway, so our very last, the actual main event of WrestleMania, we got the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes.
No, so see, you're missing one.
Who
Okay,
am I
let's
missing?
talk about this before that. Okay,
Who am
because
I
you haven't
missing?
been watching, dude. You haven't been watching. Randy Orton was supposed to face
Oh
KO, and I
yeah,
don't know when that match was supposed to happen. So here's my prediction for this because they
you're
just
right.
announced that Randy Orton is going to still have a WrestleMania match, but it's going to be against a mystery opponent. So here's a couple options here. One is, all right, Rusev, formerly known as Miro, but now back to Rusev,
He's
has
coming
signed with
back on Monday.
WWE. So he's coming back. It's inevitable. There's a
I think
rumor he might be facing Orton. The other one, though, that is a bigger rumor because they've already been hinting at his return, which ties into another thing I've been talking about, is Aleister Black, formerly Malachi Black, now going back, I think, to Aleister Black, but he's coming back. And this would be sick. And I think that he's going to take over the Judgment Day. This is going to cause Finn to go to his demon mode and all of this stuff to transpire. So that was the thing about the Finn I was going to say that, that's what I think is going to happen there.
I like the sound of that, but I don't think any of those are going to
And
happen on Mania.
yeah, here's what I think is
Hold on a second, hold on. I think Rusev and Aleister Black are going to show up on Monday, the Raw after Mania. I think that's what's going to happen there. Either that or the SmackDown after. You know what I mean? Depending on what show the Judgment Day's on. I don't know. But
they're
I
on
think
Raw.
the third option, I think we both might be in agreement with, because I think that that's where it's actually going to go. Because
Yep.
that
So here's where I said
had a couple times, right?
this is the part I was talking about where that I thought Triple H would go the route he would with the AJ Logan Paul match to throw you off because this would be a thinking outside of the box. Now it might be crossing a line, but I think it's thinking outside the box. I think KO is going to come out and he's going to say I faked it the whole freaking time just so I could get the better of you.
Damn, I don't know. I don't know about. It's not what I was gonna say. I was gonna say that it's gonna be Nick Aldis because he's gotten the crappy end of a couple RKO's recently, and I have a feeling that there's gonna be some kind of something going on. And I know we all, if you remember Magnus from TNA or Nick Aldis in his NWA days, dude is a beast. He's one of the best performers that are there as well. But you don't see him in the ring for God knows what freaking reason. So I'm hoping that they give him the opportunity to do it. So that's who I'm thinking it is Nick Aldis. But I like your predictions there.
So,
I'm just not
but
too sure.
with the KO thing, dude, I wasn't thinking he was going to be the opponent. What I was thinking is, so it could be Nick Aldis. I thought it was still going to be a mystery opponent. And despite that happening, KO was going to come out, jump Orton, and say that I faked the injury just to get the better of you.
Oh, I just don't like it. I don't like it at
Like I
all.
said, it's thinking outside the box, and it might be crossing a line with faking an injury. Okay, it might,
Yeah.
but I just kind of see it going that way. I don't know. I just have a feeling.
Oh, okay. So you're going KO. Oh gosh, that just hurts my brain right there. I don't even like it at all. So you're going Randy versus KO, and who takes it? KO?
No, what I'm saying is that I think KO is going to show up that night. I
But
still think Orton's going to have a mystery partner, and I think it could be one of those three.
oh, I see.
I don't think Orton's going to win, or he might, but KO's coming out.
So I think it's Nick Aldis, and I feel like he deserves a win. So I'm hoping that it's him. Randy doesn't need to beat anybody. Randy's already Mount Rushmore for everybody, so he doesn't need any of that. And besides, we need to get to him and Cena at some point later this year because I feel like that's who his last opponent needs to be. Which
CM
leads
Punk.
which leads me to my next and final match, the actual main event of WrestleMania. And I am not a Cena dude, but since it's his last WrestleMania, I had to wear the Cena shirt. You can't stop me. You feel me? So I'm gonna go with John Cena going over Cody Rhodes in the main event so he could get number 17, so he could lead this end of his career by giving the title back to somebody else. I feel like it's gonna end with him and Randy, and I feel like Randy's gonna win the ship from him. And who knows, Randy might actually get to 17 as well. But they keep trying to build Cena as the greatest of all time kind of thing. And they keep trying to distance themselves from Flair a little bit. You know what I mean? That's why I feel like they're going to give Cena 17. So that's what I'm going with. And let me hear what you got to say.
I do think Cena's going to get his 17th, but I don't think he's going to get it at WrestleMania unless there's some fudgery that happens. Okay. That's the only way he's going to take it from Cody.
You don't feel like
The
The
reason
Rock's
why
going to get involved?
too many people speculate that Cody's going to lose at Mania. So honestly, the way I would do it is I would go the opposite direction and have Cody retain, and then at the next pay per view have him lose it to Cena after you have some more build up because Cena hasn't really been there because they said he's been filming a little bit in between. So right now he's wrapping up something he was just doing. So that's why he hasn't been on television week to week. You know what I mean? Even though this is his last year, and a lot of people have said, "Well, what the hell's going on with Cena?" Because you said this is your last year, you were going to be here full time, yet you're not. So he's been wrapping up some stuff. That's why he's only been there sporadically right now. You know. So I think that allowing Cody to win, you allow for more buildup in the storyline to give John his 17th.
So you don't think Rock's going to get involved with all this soul taking stuff and give Cena the edge on it?
Think he is, and I think all of that's going to go down, dude. But honestly,
You think Cody's still going to pull it out?
unless it goes the route of Roman Reigns, then if Roman Reigns comes into the trio, John Cena's going to win it, and it's going to spark a feud between these three. There might be another triple threat match, but I think Cody is going to bring John Cena back to the good side while Roman retains, wins the title or something, and gets back to his former prestige to start that heel run bloodline shit that I'm talking about. Like I said, all this shit builds into other storylines. So
Well, all I know is, at least this is what I believe. I think that Cena has to go out as a face. I don't think he could go out as a heel. I think that kind of screws everything up. So we
mhm,
have to get back to that at some point somehow. And I do feel like Cody's going to be the catalyst for it all.
yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But I'm going with
So
Cena. I think Cena's going to go over. You're going to go
I'm
Cody.
yeah, I'm going Cody if it stays that way. But if Roman comes into the equation, I'm going Cena's going to win that match. But the outcome will inevitably be Cody bringing Cena back to the light side and Roman getting the title.
Man, so much to think about, lots of speculation. There's lots of great stuff happening. It's great to be a wrestling fan. I love it. You know, like I'm so happy that things are progressing the way that they are. And you know, there's just so many possibilities here. So we
But
have
TKO is what made it, dude. I think this
uh,
whole worldwide merger with UFC and stuff and freaking PBR, all the things that they're doing with the TKO holdings and stuff, that's what
yeah.
made it.
Well, again, only time will tell. So far, it's been telling some good stories and some great stuff has been happening. So can't wait to see how it goes down. This is Remo Vinci, and for my main man, my brother Grim X, these are our predictions for WrestleMania 41. What? And we'll talk to you next week, and we'll see who was right and who was wrong. Tagging out.
Time out, though. Time
Uh-oh.
out, real quick.
Uh-oh.
I just want to say, in a world where Nick Nemeth got let go, formerly known as Dolph Ziggler, he's now in TNA, and now you have I believe in Joe Hendry went back to TNA, and you had the Hardy Boys, and all of them have been featured in WWE at some point because of that branding. So I'm just saying that in today's wrestling, like what Remo was saying about, it's a great time to be a wrestling fan. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. And I'm ready and willing to find out. Well, my brother, is there anything else you want to give them before we piece this out?
No, bye guys.
Well,
Good
we are
seeing you.
tagging out. Enjoy WrestleMania. Enjoy your Easter. God bless everybody. And well wishes to you and your family. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. And we will talk to y'all next week on The Hot Tag.